So I am just on the BJJ Fanatics website, and what's amazing is now we've already talked about Gravity is Your Friend, but there are 2 other instructionals that you might want to talk about.
Recently, I had the opportunity to work with BJJ Fanatics guy, and now we have 3 instructionals out there. We have escapes engineered for guys over 40. If you're 40 or more, hey, dig into it. Gravity's your friend. Sit-up sweeps. Been there for some time, and is really, really getting a lot of attention. And then we have the smash the knee folding pass. Now, that's one of my favorites. So if you haven't looked at them, take a look. BJJfanatics.com.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live.
There we go. Yeah.
You pressed the button?
I did. I was going to say, I don't know when to start. Is it when you clap or when your chair squeaks? I'm not sure when to get going.
You don't know what the trigger is?
I don't. I know when I get triggered easy, but I know, when we get started here on the podcast. So that's
Gary,
different. Yes.
I believe that you can do the job.
Do you believe in me? Yeah, you must, right? Or you just got no other options? I've exhausted all options. This is all I got left.
Well, when you're at the bottom, the only way is up. So
don't be so hard on yourself. You're not at the bottom.
No, I was talking about you.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know why you're scavenging down here. But we talked to somebody who I think has changed a lot of lives in a good way through social media, which isn't always the case, and also in a good way on the mats, right? As being an instructor, and I think that Todd Shaffer, at one point we were talking about giving people what they need by believing in them, and then we asked if that was hard to do, considering all the years on the mats and all the people you see come and go, and maybe people who have disappointed you. But he said he keeps doing it, and he's figured out a way to do it, and I think that's great. And I was just wondering, when you realize, I don't think people often see that others believe in them throughout their lives. I feel like you need that. You need to be told directly, maybe. And there's a lot of different subtle ways people do it, that you might not notice. But I think if you've got potential, people can see it and they can help point you in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, then. Talk to you later. Shortest takeaway in history, 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
How do you listen? You run kids classes, all of them,
sure.
all together. There's well over 100 kids here, and how do you believe in the kids? We had these conversations many times, and often. You tell me, no, I need more time. I need more time with the child. There's hope. Yeah. We can do this.
Yeah,
we can. But on a serious note, like we had some of these conversations, and sometimes kids are slightly different. Obviously approach because of the maturity level and so on, right? So often they do give up quickly, and the butterfly effect. Yeah. But often I think we as parents and we as instructors, we give up on them quicker than they give up on themselves.
Sometimes.
Right? Yeah.
Sometimes.
So how do you how do you stay so motivated as an instructor for kids and really, really have these, like positive moments, like, right. I think he can do this. He can really be good at this.
I think because I've seen enough kids do it. I've seen enough kids have that change where even before I recognize these type of things, you could see kids who weren't excelling on the mats or, came in and we find out through their parents or, sometimes even from other kids that, they get bullied at school or whatever. And we see them change. We see them mature. We see them blossom into new people. And then when you have enough of that, I think you start telling yourself, and rightfully so, that anybody can do that. Any kid can do that. right? So any kid that's laying on the mat that says, I don't know how, or I can't, yeah, you can. Yes, you can, you know, and you let them know that you know that they can do it. And then when they meet those little milestones or have those achievements, they start believing in themselves more. And it's like you said, it's a butterfly effect or a ripple effect.
Yeah, no, definitely is. It definitely is. Yeah. I to this day, I remember this was a few weeks back. I said this.
Oh, wow.
No,
to this day, a few weeks back.
No. Hear me out. To this day, it's stuck in my head. It's to this day, it's stuck in my head. But a few weeks ago, your daughter had a hard time on, and we talked about it on the show. And you said this. You said this phrase. You can do hard things.
Sure.
And it's stuck with me. It's literally stuck with me. Like, you made an impact. I think this is so true. We can do hard things. We really can. Often we give up because we don't see the lights. We don't see the end. We don't see the path. We don't see.
Yeah.
All we see is the obstacles, and even often I would say that hard, quote unquote, hard thing is not as hard as we think it is. It's just sometimes we just take it for granted and we don't really think about it and really analyze why is it difficult, and what do we need to do to change it? What do we need to do to overcome that obstacle, or these obstacles, whatever.
Is it harder to do those things when you think nobody believes in you? Because how many people have we had where they on the show where they've been like, people always told me I couldn't, so I was going to prove them wrong. Right?
Yeah,
is that the flip side? Where now we're talking about people telling you can.
I think a lot of this depends on the personalities, and I think phenomenal instructors know how to inspire people in a different ways. I think as leaders in general, whether you are on the mat or in corporate life or in a small business or in a family or with your kids, it doesn't matter. I think knowing how to create these triggers in somebody's mind where you really make them think, and really make them create that spark. Mm-hmm. And for some, it is saying, you suck, you can't do this. That's how I work. Anytime you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, I'm going to drive over, all the obstacles are gone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to figure it out, But I know others don't. I know there's many out there, and probably the normal people, not like me, they need the positive enforcement. You can do this. This is hard. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy, but you can do this. There is a support network who believes in you. I believe in you, and let's figure out the way how to do it. Not if, but how. How are we going to do it? Not if you can do it. And I think, different people react in different ways. Some people like to be handheld. Other people, and I'm not here to judge whether it's right or wrong, but none of this changes the fact that we as humans are different. We think differently, mostly through experiences through our life that shaped us who we are today. And that will probably change in the future as we gain more experience. And based on that, we have to figure out ways how do we get motivated? How do we achieve some of the goals? Do we have goals? I mean, that's a very different question too. Like, are the goals that we have, are they, realistic? Are they, something that we should be even thinking about? Right. Like, we talked about this so many times on the show. I mean, it all starts with that. But I think having support network is extremely important. Extremely important. But I also think that it's not only on the instructors. Like, instructor has a huge motivational, inspirational role at the academy. But it's also the teammates, the training partners, the peers. I often actually think that the peers have more power than instructors. Instructor is the one who has a lot of knowledge, the one who has a lot of experience, the one who has often answers or at least direction in which you need to go to. But the peers are the ones, who will put you in place. Like, I remember way back in the day, like, nothing sucked more than getting a phone call like, where you at? Why are you not here?
Oh, so
I showed up.
Keeping you in check.
Like, I showed up. I'm training. Where are you? that was huge for me. Always. Like, I always felt bad. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn, I should have been there.
I think
he's waiting for me.
Yeah, I think because it's easy to, quote unquote, let your instructor down because he's got 30 other people he's got to worry about. But it's harder to let your training partner down because he's worried about you and only you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's somebody you've bonded with and become friendly with over time.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it probably pays a bigger influence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I encourage everybody, call him. Where's he at? I don't know. Well, why not? Call him. Where's he at? He should be here. He always was here. He's not here today. He hasn't been here last week. What happened? What's going on? I think as individual as jiu-jitsu is, we have a very strong community that surrounds it, and that community is part of our success. Many times on this show, we talked about, like, I don't know many people outside of jiu-jitsu. I truly don't.
Yeah. So what happens when maybe those people you believe in let you down? How do you respond to that?
I don't know. I mean, listen, life is not easy. I think life shouldn't be easy. Nobody said ever would be easy. Life is full of disappointments. I think life is hurtful often. And our life is difficult, and I think I'll pivot this to what Carson Gracie Sr. told me about 20 years ago. I was a white belt. I had a rough training session and I got beat up. I don't remember exactly what happened, but a round ended, and clearly I had to be frustrated because he called me up and he goes, sit, and he tapped the chair or whatever, the mat right next to him. So I come sit, I don't have much recollection, but I clearly had to be, since it was an individual kind of one-on-one interaction, and he told me, everybody has good days, everybody has bad days. The trick is to have more good days than bad days. And 20 or nearly 20 years ago, and that really stuck with me. That's one of those pivotal points that in my jiu-jitsu that 2 decades later, I'm still creating that connection. Every time I have a bad day, or every time I see somebody having a bad day, I often say, it's okay, it's fine, it sucks, yeah, it does, yep, what are we gonna do about it? You can quit, or you can come back and reset, do more work. You're going to embrace that, embrace the grind, and embrace the hard work. Because ultimately, in my mind at least, when you work hard, there is a point of satisfaction. No matter how fast your success comes, it always does. It always does. But you shouldn't focus on the success. You should focus on the grind. Embrace the work. Embrace the work. Why are you laughing? This is serious.
Just because that term gets used so much nowadays in jiu-jitsu. Embrace the grind.
Embrace the grind.
Embrace the grind.
It gets referred from the physical perspective.
Yeah. Sure. Boy, sure did yesterday. Second chances?
Always. I think everybody deserves second chances, no matter what the circumstances are. Sometimes it's hard sometimes we are not ready to give a second chance.
Yeah.
That's slightly different, point of all of this. But I think everybody deserves a second chance, and I always try to think about it that way. I think living in a point of regret or living in a point of anger, that's a very miserable life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it sticks with you. I know there's people that I didn't need. Well, I shouldn't say didn't need. There's people that I think, if I was to tell certain stories, would be like they didn't deserve a second chance. But that person's not there anymore. So it's like I could have been the better person, which may have changed that person's life, Yeah. So think about that. It's like, don't be so quick to write people off. You don't have to put yourself in a vulnerable position to be taken advantage of or hurt or whatever. But by maybe giving them that second, that third chance, that might just be the opportunity they need to turn things around. So, and then they pass it down to somebody else. So,
listen, life is too short but often it's long. You know?
Yeah, somebody wise said that. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Life is short, but yet it's long. And,
Yeah.
and you know, it's a shame when, you know, we are stuck in this negative point of view. And it's hard. I get it. I get grumpy and I get negative. Sometimes some people I don't
started
want
the podcast earlier today. You were grumpy. Somebody didn't bring their coffee.
But listen, it is what it is. Like, we have this one thing. There's one life. There's no second chances in life.
Some people don't think that way.
Well,
But-
you know, once we expired, and I hate to break it to you, but we all got an expiration date. We all do. And I think the hardest part about all this is that we don't know when the expiration date is.
Right.
It could be tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be 50 years from now. We don't know. So why not live the life the best we possibly?
50? I'm going to live to be 101.
No, I was referring to me.
Oh. I was like 101. That's awesome.
Listen, let's spin this
Listen.
positive.
Yeah.
Classes are tonight. Are you going to the class? That's the main point.
You asking me personally?
No, I'm asking
Okay.
everybody out there. You know,
Yeah.
if you're not, if you're thinking, questioning yourself, pick up your bag, put it in your car, put it by your door, put it next to your shoes.
Yep.
Don't question yourself. Get up
No.
and go.
No.
Call your buddy. Call your training partner. Are they going? Or they think they are going? You know, listen. Jiu-Jitsu is awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Hold each other accountable. Make sure you're there. And I've said this multiple times. You'll regret not going, but you will never regret going.
I agree.
Right. No matter how many times you tap. So, all right. Are we done here?
We done.
All right. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.